All right, I hope you guys are ready for this. Oh shit, the guitar pick is black. It's impossible to see a pick throw with that. What's up everyone and welcome to Sunday with SWOLA111. What do you guys think about that black metal Iron Maiden piece I made right there? And also, just so you guys know, I know a lot of people are usually asking like, oh, what song is that in the intro for every Sunday with SWOLA? It's something I've written just before I record these Sunday with SWOLA, so they're originals. This is the first time you hear the songs in the SWOLA. It's that current. Every week I write something new. And you can do too in the Sunday with SWOLA Riff Challenge, where you can download the drums in the description and you can write your own riffs, and maybe I'll check you out in tomorrow's live stream on my second channel. It's Sunday everyone. Holy shit, how you guys doing? What? So early in the morning. Are you really here? Is it early morning for you? It's really hope you guys are doing okay this morning. Team No Sleep in the Premier chat maybe? Huh? We'll just have to see. Have you bought anything for Black Friday? No? Well, there's still a small chance you could get something from the SWOLA Guitars Black Sabbath that started yesterday, where you can buy our guitars for cheap, man. So go to swolaguitars.com, there's still a chance. But if you missed out on the Black Sabbath, don't you guys worry, because we're celebrating 5 years since we started SWOLA Guitars this coming week. And with that, we're doing a whole bunch of deals for you guys. So stay tuned for that. We have a lot of really cool shit on the website. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you got your coffee cups ready like I. Do you guys have your coffee cups ready? No? Well, fun. This is going to shit. Have you gotten your coffee cups ready? Holy shit, man. I'm not vibing today. Just sometimes making these Sunday with SWOLAs, it's just going like a breeze, but today it feels like everything's against me when I'm talking. You know, English is not my first language. Sometimes, you know, the brain has to work a little bit in there. Could you imagine that? My brain working? No? Anyways, the news. All right, we need to talk about the amazing game called Doom. Have you not played Doom? Well, you're missing out. I remember so well when the first Doom came out. Like, obviously I play Wolfenstein 3D, but the first Doom was really fucking scary for its time. I mean, nowadays people are like, oh, you thought that was scary? Huh? Well, have you tried Phasmophobia or something like that, or Phantasmagoria or Mahoney? That's, yes. But back when the first Doom was released, there was nothing in existence like that before. And it was incredibly scary, man. Also, I was a kid and, you know, amazing, Doom. Okay, what is not that amazing is that there's a guy at the ID Software that totally sucks balls. No, but okay, let's start from the beginning. Mick Gordon, the composer of the later Dooms, okay, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, he composes the music for these games, okay? He's incredible. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Mick Gordon is incredible. He writes awesome music that makes you want to shoot monsters in Doom. Well, in before making the latest Doom Eternal, you know, Mick Gordon was up to the task. He was meant to write music for this new game. Mick Gordon being an avid Doom fan, obviously he's gonna make it work and it's gonna make it absolutely awesome. However, it seems that there was a lot of problems with this whole production of this game. And we understood that something was wrong when the game was released and the original soundtrack of the game was released, because you know, people were like, huh, this sounds sort of like shit, you know, when they listen back to the CD. That's what I said. I didn't say anything else. I didn't burp. And after a while, there was a statement from Marty Stratton from ID Software, basically putting all the blame on Mick Gordon. And that was, what was that, like 2 years ago or something like that. And, you know, nothing was really said more about that until this past week when Mick Gordon made a full-ass statement on Reddit. And holy shit, it's a read for sure. And it seems like this whole production of Doom Eternal and incorporating Mick Gordon to make the music was an absolute shitfest. In short, Mick Gordon provided almost 5 hours worth of music, but it was only paid for like half. They used his music that was supposed to be scrapped, but they still used it, and you know, they had hired another music director at the side without letting him know. They withheld payments for like a year. It's absolutely terrible. Here we have, you know, Mick Gordon, a composer, a musician, a professional at his craft. On the other side, you have the bureaucracy and, you know, the business aspect of a company or a corporation behaving like absolute dog shit against the musician that is really a fan of the game and really wants to provide an awesome, you know, score to this awesome game that would eventually offer Mick Gordon a deal, a six-figure deal to take money in exchange for being blamed. Absolutely horrible story. If you have the time, you should read this statement. I'll link it down there. It's incredibly f***ed up. I absolutely love the Doom franchise. I mean, I sport gear and, you know, merch from Doom. As I've been playing all the games, but I'm not sure I want to support ID Software anymore after this. It's just an absolute shitty situation. So there you go. Nergal of Behemoth tells you to not start a band. He says, go find yourself a proper job. Wow, oh shit, okay, what is it really saying? Nergal has a bit of advice for young musicians. Nergal has a bit of advice for young musicians. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Nergal has a bit of advice for young musicians staring at the posters of their heroes on their bedroom walls, dreaming of superstardom. Don't start a band. Don't start any bands. And I'm not even kidding here. Don't do it. The world is overwhelmed with bands, with records, with albums. There's really no space there for anything. There's only 7 days a week. There's too many tours around. There's too many shows. People don't have and will have less and less money. So all the tours are suffering. Do you really want to put out another song on another album that no one will pay attention to? No, you don't want to do that. Go find yourself a proper job. Finish university. Travel and enjoy life. Don't do this. Now that's a pretty harsh word coming from Nergal. However, I do agree with his last sentence where he's saying, go find yourself a proper job, finish university, travel and enjoy life. Yes, obviously, finding a good source of income is probably number one. But what happened to starting a band because you enjoy playing music? Maybe? Most bands, they don't start out with the ambition to get a record deal and to, you know, conquer the world. They do it for the love of the music that they're playing and the, you know, the love for just standing around and jamming with people. That aspect gets lost in what Nergal is saying right here. So I understand what he's saying. You know, the metal industry and music in general is very and incredibly saturated. But, you know, I don't agree with this because there's always going to be the bands that kind of, you know, pave their way anyways because they're awesome or have something special. There is absolutely space left for new music. Don't listen to Nergal in this case. I understand what he's saying, but, you know, if you want to start a band, start a fucking band, you know? Just do it, man. To me, it almost sounds like, you know, don't come here and compete with my band because we're gonna earn the money over here. And, you know, if you come and compete with that, don't touch my money. That's why I read from this. Continuation. Though on the flip side, there's also the cold truth of just how much music is out there these days. A recent report showed that Spotify officially passed the 100,000 songs uploaded daily mark. A day? What? And according to Universal Music Group, Executive Vice President of Digital Strategy, that's a title, Michael Nash, on a recent earnings call, most of the music uploaded to Spotify just kind of floats around in the void, largely ignored. So is it worth trying while knowing all that? Of course! The articles actually say, of course. What do you have to lose? For most people, just recording an album or recording a song is good enough for them. That's a goal enough for a lot of people, just to record or even write a song. Making it, that's just very, very high above in the skies for a lot of bands. I mean, just recording a song on an album, that's a conquering of its own. So, you know, take away all of this that you have to earn money. There is basically no money in the industry unless you're a really big band. Do it because you love it, okay? Good talk. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Pantera is coming to Sweden. Oh my God. No, actually, Pantera is coming to Sweden Rock, which is a festival in Sweden. You know, this was announced before the last Sunday with Ola, where I said that, you know, I hope they come to Sweden. And as soon as it was announced, I ordered tickets for Sweden Rock. So I am gonna go watch Pantera or Pantera Tribute, I'm sorry, on Sweden Rock. I haven't been this excited about a show in probably 20 years. I'm really, really fucking excited to see Pantera. And again, as I bought the tickets, you know, you got like shivers in my body, man. I'm gonna see, you know, well, not the whole band, but, you know, I'm gonna see the heroes that I was growing up with, you know, when I was a teenager, and I feel like a teenager again. Really looking forward to watching this show. I just wanted to share that, you know, I'm really happy. They're coming to Sweden, and I'm really excited about that. Is that okay? I'm 40 years, oh shit, I'm 40, yeah. I'm 41, I'm sorry. I'm 41 years old, and I'm like giggly excited for a fucking concert. You know, when you're a teenager and, you know, growing up and you start listening to music, you have this excitement for music, right? And as you get older, you know, life starts to happen. You get kids and wives and work, and, you know, you've heard all the music, and there's, you know, you're not just as excited anymore. And even though I'm still excited about music, it's not the same as when I was 15 years and, you know, discovering that Bolt Thrower album, or, you know, listening to, you know, waiting for that release from Pantera, Reinventing the Steel, or Great Sound and Trendkill, and, you know, buying the album, going home, listening to it like over and over and over again in your stereo. You don't really have that excitement as an adult in the same way, but I was just really happy to see how I reacted to myself buying tickets for fucking Pantera in 2022, 2023 even. Holy shit, it's in the future. So yes, I am gonna go see Pantera this summer. Are you going? Maybe I'll see you there, okay? All right, I'm getting a little sick and tired of Dave Mustaine teasing about his new Gibson and Kramer and Epiphone guitars, but, you know, I have to talk about it. Dave Mustaine teases new Gibson Explorer signature model, and is that a new USA-made Kramer? Dave Mustaine took to Instagram recently to offer fans a sneak peek of his new Gibson Explorer signature range. However, in the process, he's also given us a glimpse of what looks like very much like a new USA-built Kramer, and possibly new 80s style flying V-models. First up, let's stay on topic. Discuss the Explorers. Mustaine shows 3 in a rack, including what appeared to be a natural gold and black finishes, complete with binding, humbucker routing, 24 fret. However, Mustaine also comments somewhat cryptically, "One more to go." And there's a 4th slot empty on the rack, suggesting there may also be another option on the way. So look at this. Shit. Okay, so not only are they doing V-models, they're also doing Explorer models. And yeah, man, I mean, why not? It's Dave Mustaine, man. He's a fucking legend. Why shouldn't he have all the shapes? You know, it's a signature guitar. But also, they're talking about this Kramer USA model right there. I'm not as excited about that, unless it would be like a Kramer Dave Mustaine, maybe. So there you go, the 3rd horseman. My Dave Mustaine 24 fret Gibson Explorer, 1 more to go. There's probably a lot more speculation happening. You can probably go watch a Trogley video. He's really good at speculating about Gibson, so go watch that. Don't watch this bullshit. This is just SWOLA. This is shit, basically. All right, thank God. Nickelback was just kidding this whole time. Anybody that thinks that we take this band seriously is hilarious. You know, I was actually thinking that they were serious. But apparently, they're not serious about the whole thing. I'm sure if you ever heard Nickelback song like The Eternal Memeable Photograph or Figured You Out, you probably wondered, these guys have to be kidding, right? Turns out they are, and they're laughing all the way to the bank. Okay, so it's all about the money. Chad Kroeger said that the band's hits were written very tongue-in-cheek and weren't meant to be taken seriously. And then everyone did, and Nickelback became huge. Which is actually pretty great if you think about it. You're goofing off with your friends 1 minute, and the next minute you're an international superstar. Not bad. Okay, I'm gonna do it with his voice. When we recorded, you look so much cuter with something in your mouth. I mean, if you take a look at this picture, maybe they are not actually serious and they're doing this for fun. And or it might be a way of trying to save face, you know, that they become so memeable throughout the years. But, I mean, they didn't always look like that. He could, you know, Chad almost looked like Kurt Cobain for a while, and, you know, they were looking a little grungy. You know, short hair, button-up t-shirts, black, and just jeans. I mean, I don't know. If this was a joke all along, then kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. You know, the snares on the albums, that's not a joke. That's a really good fucking snare. I love the snare tones on Nickelback albums. Anyways, that was the news. All right, album tip of the week. I haven't done this in a while, but I've been listening to the new and upcoming In Flames album. Yes, way before you guys. You regular people and your release dates. That doesn't concern me. I'm on the press list, so I get the shit early. No, jokes aside, I got to interview Björn of In Flames for a Coffee with Fola that would probably be up this coming week. But with that, I also got a chance to listen to the full-blown new album a couple of times. And just to clarify my situation, because I was listening to In Flames back in the day, you know, during Justice Race and Colony and Horacle, you know? And I was even playing covers, like Behind Space. We played a cover of that song with my band. And, you know, basically back then, they were strict death metal. And then they released Clayman, they became like insanely huge of a band, and then they changed their sound a little bit, became more modern sounding, a little bit more melodic maybe, or like pop melodic, I would say. So I haven't really paid attention to In Flames until I got a chance to listen to this new album, and I think it's pretty f***ing sick. Even to the extent that I might have to check out the previous albums because I haven't given them a chance, basically. A lot of people are saying that they're back to form with this album. I have no idea, but people are also speculating that it might be because of the halo effect. You know, former members of In Flames starting their own band and making it sound like, making it sound like In Flames type of music, or, you know, Gothenburg melodic metal music. So a lot of people are saying like, you know, maybe people wanted In Flames to go back to the roots and, you know, sound like In Flames did previously. Well, the thing is, for me, old In Flames is death metal. So for me, if I listen to Clayman and I listen to this, it's pretty close. But the cool thing about this album is that it is sounding pretty fucking sick, and there's blast beats, and I think it's mixed by the drummer now. It's just really good, and it makes me want to listen to their previous albums now. So I'm gonna go back and check their, you know, catalog a little bit and just go balls deep, you know? Ooh, is that okay to say? Oh shit, might get canceled. The new album Foregone is gonna be available in February next year. So holy shit, like a 2 months before release. I'm sitting here like, ooh, listening to the new Flames, and you're not. Well, you can go listen. There are like 4 singles out there already, and it sounds very promising. Oh my god, guitar of the week, welcome. It hasn't really been that long since I made a demo of this guitar, but I figured, you know, guitar of the week, maybe not everyone watches all of my videos, you know? Well, I'm a fan, and if you take a look at the case right there, look at that. It's Final Fantasy, baby. It's a video game. Oh, look at that, there it is. All right, it's gonna be a little interesting because when I made my demo of this guitar, I couldn't see the cool shit on this guitar. I'll show you in a second, but first glance, this is a black Stratocaster, right? Yes? No, it's not only black, it has cool shit. Meteorites at the side. Look at that. Can you see that in the camera? It's purple.
You see it pretty well here.
Yeah, awesome. Can you see the blue? The blue is tougher to see, man. You can see it, good. Because when you just hold it like this, you can't really see that much. But if you go in front, it's like, oh, that looks cool, but you have to be like this. Oh, that's so cool. You know, if I'm playing this on a show, the audience has to be this close to be able to see it. And then it's cool. I mean, take a look, put it up against the light. Look at that. There you can see it, right? And the blue, oh my God, I think it's the first time I see the blue. Look at that. Final Fantasy Meteor right there. And it's just it's a black Stratocaster. They're just not that common. And just like with the Ibanez MTM2, it also has a finished neck. You bastard. Anyways, it's made in Japan, 2022? Or is it 2021? Just have to guess. I think it's a 2022. It's number 468 out of, I don't know how many, because they didn't really say how many they would make. Unlike the Asuka Evangelion Telecaster that actually had a fixed number. I think the ambition with making this guitar was just really cool, and that you can use it in the actual game Final Fantasy Online. Since I'm a fan of Final Fantasy, still pretty cool. Friedman Jerry Cantrell JJ amplifier, an insane amplifier for an insane player. That's a gnarly sounding single coil right there. There is this Ultra, I don't remember the mode it's called, but it's like a Super Saiyan mode, but in Final Fantasy. I don't remember what it was called. Meteorite something bullshit, but there's something here they call Limit! Limit Break, yes! It sounds like shit. The Limit Break sounds like shit, okay. Noise check, are you ready? Limit break. Okay, it's less. There you go, that's my favorite. That's a good ending. that failed bend has to be the ending of this Guitar of the Week right there. It's kind of cool, but it's also very underwhelming. And I guess I'll just have to hold on to it until it's like worth a shit ton of money. But yes, look how cool it is. And look, blue and purple, man. Just as seen in the video game and on pictures. This is basically how it looked like on the sales pictures. It looks like this.
If it would have been glow in the dark.
Exactly, but it's not. Okay, so Fender product pictures. Oh my God, that looks amazing. Real pictures. Meh. So there you go, Guitar of the Week right there. Hope you enjoyed it. Fender, next time, maybe do something more exciting for Final Fantasy, maybe. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. All right, question of the day, where my YouTube members get to ask me questions about my everyday life. And maybe it's time to do another FAQ. I haven't done an FAQ in a while. Are you guys interested in the FAQs anymore? It feels like the FAQs were kind of like a thing I did back in the day, and maybe now, not as much. Let me know, maybe have a poll in the premiere. Yes, anyways, question from my members. Today's question is from Nick. Olas.
Hey Ola, I never noticed before, but man, your tattoos are incredible. Who did the work for you?
Thank you so much, Nick. Olas. So, oh shit! Thank you so much. That's very nice. I have to take off my this sweater now. Give me a second. Joink. Oops. Oh shit. Sorry, baby. Oh shit! I have a car bomb T-shirt on. Oh shit! Be careful using one of these on the airport, by the way. It's would not recommend. All right. So my tattoos. Holy shit! I'm dry. Why am I this dry? So I have talked about this before. I started on this arm right here, basically trying to fill it up, and it's a various bunch of tattoo artists that have done this arm right here. I'm thinking of filling something up right here. Oh, look at that muscle. Oh shit! Oh, be careful. Guns, man. No, but I'm trying to it would be cool to fill up this arm as well. This was a lady that did this. This is another weird guy that did this, and you know, another guy did this, and another guy did this. So I would call it a junkie's arm, you know, where it's just like, oh, they're just a tattoo in prison kind of arm. While this full sleeve is from Mr. Dist, which is an incredible Swedish tattooist, and he made this whole sleeve right there. And I kind of want him to do something here as well. So yeah, I don't have any other tattoos, and I'm not sure where I would put other tattoos. You know, I spent almost the whole pandemic years doing this sleeve, and I'm just not sure. Maybe on the belly. Is the belly cool? Legs? I hear that legs kind of suck. Face, maybe, like Mike Tyson. It looks great on him. Maybe it looks great on me too. Dude, I really need to put some lotion on its skin right now. Just saying. Holy shit. It is winter, guys. It's getting dry. Also, I took a shower this morning. That's probably why. I should have put some body lotion on there, man. Look at that fragile skin. Oh, baby. Anyways, thank you so much for question of the day. My friends, that was it for Sunday with Ola for today. I hope you enjoyed it. On the OlaEnglundShop.com, we're not having Black Friday or anything like that, but we do have a promotion right now. If you order anything from the OlaEnglundShop.com right now, you will get a pack of these coasters right here, which contains coasters for all of my albums that I made. You know, Star Singer, look at this, Stars and Pony. Look at that motherfucker, that's so cool. Sun and the Moon, Feared albums. You can put your coffee cup on it, you know? If you order something from the web shop, you get these 10 coasters for free. How about that? That's valid for 2 weeks or something like that. Guys, thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate that you guys are watching every week, and you know, it makes me really happy to make these SWOLAs. Today my English wasn't the best, or you know, it wasn't the snappiest, but it'll be better someday. You know? So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe maybe, and hug yourself like this. You did a good job watching this SWOLA. So thank you so much. Have a good one, guys. Bye.